tonight is 3 2-minute rounds of cadet kickboxing. So would you please welcome into the red corner, fighting out of lightning kickboxing, Jamie Morgan. 3 2-minute rounds of cadet kickboxing. Morgan in the red, Gardiner in the blue.
Dylan Gardiner. And already a fantastic atmosphere tonight, Kasim. And the other thing I've been so impressed with is the level of technique and maturity from these youngsters.
Yeah, I think this fight as well, I've seen both of these fighters fight before. Again, it's a very, very good match.
So 3 2-minute rounds now. And both young men raring to go, as you can see.
I always remember Jamie having really good legs.
So first a potential 3, and they lock up in the centre of the ring. And as you said that, the side kick from JB Morgan pushed out like a jab. And as we saw there, Kasim, the side kick is an art form in itself in 2 ways. 1, it's like an extra weapon if you push out because it's longer than a jab. And 2, the amount of people that find it difficult to get around it.
It is. Somebody with a good side kick is hard to get close to. It's also a good measuring stick to set up other techniques.
Now, when you found someone like that, as you said, that possibly came from a very strong, like continuous points background or taekwondo background that could use that so well, how would you suggest getting around someone that can really push that leg out?
I think the first thing is you'd have to shut that side kick down. With me personally, a lot of the time, I'd come in with my hands up and my front knee up straight, would not give him the range for that side kick.
Because as we've seen here, if you look at Dylan's rib section, his midsection, that leg has already landed a good few times.
Yeah, I think he's not focusing on shutting it down.
Oh, and a big left hand. Forget the legs there. That left hook was the best shot of the bout so far, Kasim.
It is. As you can see, this fight is more measured.
Well, it's as you mentioned, is you can't afford to rush in when you might rush into something that's full contact, heavy-handed. Better from Dylan now, though, in response. And as you said, he's a better fighter when he manages to get it inside Jamie.
Yeah.
Stiff left jab as well.
I think that's where Dylan wants to be. I think he wants to close that leg down and stay close to him and work in that close to mid-range.
Yes, Jamie had success with a solid left hand early, but Dylan has come back well now as well. And I think, as you said, to me, this whole bout depends on how well he copes with the lead leg of Jamie Morgan.
Yeah.
So both men had their moments, Kasim.
It was a good round. Like I said, I think James is having good success with that, stabbing out that lead side kick to the body, and I think he's measuring well off it. I think it's a good range finder for him.
And then we saw later in the round, maybe even a minute and a half in, Dylan seemed to come to terms with it a bit and then started to get his own hands going once he managed just to get inside that range.
Yeah, I think Dylan will find once he does close that down, if he does, that the fight would become an easier fight.
Now the problem is obviously getting there.
Yeah, well that's like I said, James has got them legs that he can flick them up from body to head without even thinking about it.
And he showed he's got a pretty good left hook as well.
Yeah, as you can see, he landed a good clean one that round.
So 2 or 3, both young men still there. Both keen to get on. And again, you can see the way Jamie immediately switches stance, doesn't he? He comes in on that orthodox stance and then just pushes more to the side.
That's it. I think that's where Dylan wants to be. He wants to be in that mid-range, not giving the room for that side kick.
Well, he's closed the range quicker, Dylan Gardiner, here in the opening of the second. I think he's listened to Franz Zuccala in the corner there.
Yeah.
And that's the key, is how quickly he can shut down that leg. He doesn't want to be at this range.
That's that side kick going up to the head too.
And that was a perfect example of the problem Dylan faces. If you're going to fight at that range, it's going to be Jamie's fight. The more he can get inside and take it closer, that's better. But again, a solid right roundhouse from Jamie Morgan as well.
I think Dylan's waiting too long. I think he needs to move first now and not give James that time to lift up the leg.
But it's a double-edged sword as well, isn't it, Kassim? When you're getting caught with solid side kicks and then the roundhouse, it slows you down. You take just that little extra time to think when really you've got to be doing the opposite.
Yeah, that's it. I think where he's thinking too much about it is giving James the room to throw it.
Yes, and finally broken here, but that's better from Dylan when he comes in and throws that jab quickly, closes the gap.
Yeah, I just think he needs to build on that and intersect with the jab.
Oh, both young men landed cleanly there, but it's the right hand of Dylan Gardiner that had the effect. And he is a different fighter once he's inside that lead leg. Oh, Jamie, perfect timing, Kassim.
Yeah. You can see from the eclipse corner, they're telling Dylan to go forward.
But when he doesn't, we saw what happens there. The lead leg was doubled up and the second one landed just like a clean jab.
Yeah.
I mean, both men are still in it, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. That's why with me personally, I wouldn't drop my hands to try and take away the side kick. I'd cover up, lift the knee and just shut the side kick down.
Because as we've seen, when Jamie does double it up and throw it, he's very clean, he does land it cleanly. But having said that as well, I think he'd be even more dangerous if he followed up those good legs and when he's got his man off balance, because we've seen he's got good hands, but he hasn't really followed up as much as his legs have given him the opportunity to.
Yeah, I think he's just comfortable landing his clean kicks. But me personally, I'd rather put my hands on top of that and try and make it a bit more clinical.
So what we're saying here is there's still plenty more to fight for in this third and final round, because Jamie Morgan has definitely got this bout at range, but Dylan Gardiner has had his success when he's got inside. And again, for the judges, as we saw in the previous bout, it's what you're looking for, what you're going to see happening. For me, if I was in Dylan Gardiner's corner, I'd be saying, get right in there, work him close and work him hard.
Yeah.
Jamie's corner, I say, look, just keep him at the end of that leg, just like that.
Side kick again to the head.
Now that's the problem for Dylan, is when he's coming in or coming out, isn't it? Because those legs are at the most effective at those two ranges.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think where James throwing them so fast.
So it's been a tough night for Dylan Gardiner, but he's made no complaints. He's worked well when he has got inside. And we've seen before, Kassim, it's frustrating when you get inside, you must work, because otherwise it's only half the job done. To his credit, when he's got inside, Dylan has tried to maximise his time there, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But I feel he's just spent too much time at Jamie's range.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. He's fighting at his opponent's range.
So hands on hips there, Jamie Morgan. He's put a lot of effort into his legs, as Kassim said he would do. But it has, I feel, across the 3 rounds, probably paid off for him.
Yeah, I think where he's been landing them clean techniques, I think is up on the scorecards.
And again, he doubles it up, machine gun style. Here's where Dylan needs to work with the lefts and the rights of the body. He knows what he needs to do. He's just not given enough opportunity to do it.
Yeah, I think Dylan needs to free up the hands on the inside.
Bit low that one, but that's the first time Jamie's landed low after throwing a lot of kicks indeed. And that left hook, which I would like to have seen more of. He's good with it.
Yeah.
And again, comes off on the turn with the left hook to get the space for that side kick that Dylan has seen far too often into his face. And this is where he needs to work in his corner. calling him on there.
I think Dylan needs to just put his combinations together instead of trying to throw them big haymakers.
As it is, I don't know about you, Kasim, I've got a feeling this will go for the red corner at his range.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always today, before I make the official announcement, please, let's hear it for both young men in the ring. But we do have a unanimous decision. Our judges in favour of